Hey people! We are back at the table, another 2-2 session. But before we get into the action, if you like my content, if you like these kind of videos, please leave a like and subscribe. That would help me and the channel a lot, and it keeps me motivated to do these videos. And thank you very much. So in this session we bought into the game for €200 as usual, and as usual we play short-handed for the first few orbits, so keep that in mind again. And now let's get into the action. So in our first hand we are 5-handed and the hijack raises to €6, and I'm on the button with ace-10 offsuit. I decide to 3-bet here since we are short-handed, and I 3-bet to €18. The blinds fold and the hijack makes the call. We see a flop of ace-9-4 with 2 clubs, and I c-bet €16 on this dry flop and the hijack makes the call. We go to a turn which brings another 9, the 9 of spades. He checks to me, and here I decide to check back for pot control. He has way more 9s than his range than I have, and I can definitely go for 2 streets of value if he checks to me again on the river. So let's see a river. The river brings a blank in form of the 3 of diamonds, and here I decide to go for value and I bet €45. He thinks for a little bit and makes the call. I show my ace-10, he mugs, and we win a nice first pot. So in this hand we see a limp from the hijack, and I'm in the cutoff with ace-8 of diamonds. I raise to €10 and it folds back to the limper, who decides to call the €10. We go to a flop heads up of 8-7-4 with 1 diamond. He checks to me and I c-bet €12 with my top pair and he calls. The turn is the 9 of diamonds. He checks to me again, and here I could definitely bet again with our nut flush draw and second pair, but at this moment I decide to check back and we go to the last card. The river brings the 9 of clubs, so it pairs the board, and now he decides to lead, but only for €15. I guess there is only one option, and the option is to call. I guess if I raise I only get called by better hands and folding is out of the question, so I call. He turns over pocket 3s, so we are good with our second pair and scoop the pot. So in this hand we see a limp from the button, the small blind checks, and I look down at queen jack of clubs. I make it €12 to go and only the button calls. We see a flop of ace king 9 with 2 clubs. So we have a flush draw and a gut shot. And overall this board should definitely favor my range. I c-bet €10 and the button calls. The turn brings the ace of spades. I tell my story and bet €25, and to my surprise the button now raises to €60. We get a very good price to continue with our combo draw. He could have a low ace-x type hand at best, because I don't think he would play stronger hands like ace-king, ace-9, pocket 9s like that. And besides that he doesn't represent much, so I call. So we see a river and it brings the 4 of clubs. So we improve to a flush, definitely a great card for us. I should definitely go for value here. The only hand that might beat us is ace-4 offsuit or maybe ace-4 suited. I don't think he plays ace-9, ace-king or pocket 9s like this. As I mentioned, I will most likely get called by other ace-x type hands and maybe lower flushes, but instead I decide to check in this situation. He's a new player I never played against. Definitely a mistake here, and he quickly checks back. I turn over my flush and it's good. Pretty sure I should bet the river, but I will definitely learn from my mistakes. So on to the next hand. And now people, get some drinks, get something to snack, Sit back, relax and enjoy the next 3 hands. It was amazing how I run in this session, but just see yourself. So in the first of the 3 hands, the button straddle is on for 6 euros and I'm in the small blind next to act. I raise to 18 euros and we get 3 callers. The flop comes 7-5 deuce with 2 spades. I c-bet 45 euros and it folds to the button, who jams his rest of the stack in. He only has about 153 euros in his stack. I snap call. We see 2 more cards, no more action. The turn comes the 9 of clubs. The river is the queen of diamonds. The button shows king 7 offsuit with the king of spades. I turn over my kings and we scoop the first nice pot. The next hand happens like 2 shuffles later. The $4 button straddle is on. It folds to the hijack, who raises to 15 euros and I look down at pocket aces. I definitely put in the 4-bet here. I 4-bet to 45 euros and it folds back to the hijack, who jams his stack all in. He just rebought for 200 euros and I can't call fast enough. Of course, dream situation. We go to a run out, no more action. We actually show our hands. He shows pocket queens. I turn over my aces, feeling pretty great, until the flop comes out. The flop is queen 10 9. Sad life. The turn brings a 10, but never mind. The river is an ace. Pure suck out here at the river. Feeling a little bad for him because he just rebought his 200 euros and I stacked him. But that's poker sometimes. And that's not it. Off to the next hand. Just a quick side note before the next hand. All these hands you saw already just happened in the first hour of play. So we were on a sick heater and it doesn't stop. In the next hand, the under the gun player raises to 5 euro. We see a call from the hijack and I'm in the cutoff with king, queen of spades. I decide to free bet to 22 euro. Maybe I should go a little bigger, but I have position. It folds back to the under the gun player who calls and the hijack player calls as well. So we go freeway to a flop of ace, jack, 10 with 2 diamonds. It doesn't stop. We flop the nuts in position. Feels pretty great. They both check to us and I hope they got something on this board. I bet 35 euros, but unfortunately this time they both fold and we take down a small pot. We are at the peak of our stack at around 725 euros, maybe a little more. Let's hope we can continue. But this is a 2-part video and this was part 1. So stay tuned if you want to see if this heater can continue. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much guys. See you next time.